Hey guys, welcome to the KICKABoUT podcast. My name is Ashan, and today I'm joined by two guests. Would you like to go introduce yourselves?
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name's Tejas Kishore Shetty. I'm a Barca fan, but thanks to Ishan and Dev, I've been watching a lot of Premier League as well, and I have to say I'm in love with it. And thank you for letting me be here.
G man.
Hey, my name is Dave and I'm a Man United fan. I've been a Man United fan since 2014 and I just love this game.
Very well. So as I told you, my name's Ashan, and I'm a Man City fan, and I've been a Man City fan from before the oil money came in. So I'm a real one. Uh, we have a lot of time nowadays where we anyways ramble about football. So I thought we'll make a podcast and ramble about it with you guys.
So we are a weekly podcast and we'll cover most of the English games and try to cover European nights as well.
Very well. So how you guys been, man? Have you guys had a chance to watch all the games this weekend? What do you make of them?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to talk about the games, we have to talk about the Merseyside derby, man. Come on.
Oh, that was
Fucking
too so good.
madness. It was a
The
mad game.
game was too good.
It's probably I did feel that Liverpool were robbed of it though. I know for a fact Dave didn't agree with it.
Yeah, a certain person in our friend group said his fingers were offside, but come on, man, that in actuality
Dude,
it wasn't offside. Like, come on, he was clearly on.
That he was onside and Liverpool were robbed of that victory. Everton
but
didn't deserve
I
that.
think to give a more general sense of the game to our viewers, we should say that the game ended 2-2, but there were quite a few controversial decisions in the game.
Yeah,
Uh,
one being
to begin
Pickford's
with,
foul.
yeah, that foul was so bad. It'd get a yellow, leave alone a red.
I mean, and now he's not going to be punished over it as well. So I think everyone's
Yeah,
just scratching their head.
I think he should have gotten a red card. That was a very bad foul. But he also is the man of the match because he took out Van Dijk.
And
How
from
long
what
is
it
Van
looks
Dijk
like,
out?
it's long, bro. It's long. It's gonna be about 6 months, 7 months. I mean, everyone's throwing their own figure, but that looks like it's at least gonna be like minimum of 4-5 months, nothing below that.
Yeah, it looks like a very long injury. I mean, Liverpool. Can Liverpool play with just two defenders for the rest of the season?
I don't
Uh,
know.
so the wider question is, does this injury blow the title race open now?
It should, because playing so many games a season with just Matip and Gomez, who aren't at all on Van Dijk's level, even if you combine their abilities, and playing,
That's a very good point. Yeah.
and
Fair
it's
point.
it's genuinely not possible for them to win unless they buy someone in January.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that nobody is on the same level as Van Dijk. He practically made that defense.
Yeah. Okay.
There were just so many kids in that defense, man. Before he came, the Gomez, the Trents, the Robertson. So without him, it just feels like it's like Huddersfield Town's defense. Without
Yeah,
being
forgetting
mean to them.
Dejan Lovren, world class defender.
I mean, they sold him, man. I think they'd repent that. They got what 10 million for him.
But I mean, what if Jurgen Klopp does a Pep Guardiola and starts playing a CDM at centre back? How would that shape up the team?
I mean, Fabinho can play centre back. He is a tall man, and he
No, but I
has
think
played
we were
breadth.
discussing this when we were watching the game yesterday. That if you do that and you play a holding midfielder somewhere in that defensive back line, then that vacates a big hole in like the center of the park, which I think is going to hurt them more than the center back situation.
But Liverpool have a oversaturation of midfielders. I mean, how many midfielders do they have, man? They have Hendo, they have Gini, they have Thiago, who else? Nabi, Oxlade. They have so many midfielders.
Probably, yeah. The Ox too. No, but guys, do you think that in talking about like that particular game, have the decisions overshadowed the performances to such an extent where people aren't really crediting Everton for what they did?
Oh,
I
most
mean,
definitely. Yeah. But
Calvert-Lewin has been phenomenal this season, and he's been scoring goals every day, every match.
That is so true. And I think that was like one of my better shouts of the season. You remember that I've been a huge fan of this particular striker per se. Like he's 23
Yeah,
years old. He's not the fastest, but this man scores, and that's what you want from a striker.
yeah, exactly. And
he,
Everton
he's
played well, but Liverpool outplayed them. I feel so.
I mean,
The passing was just too good.
Calvert Lewin is the dream version of Olivier Giroud. I mean, he pretty much does everything Olivier Giroud can do, but just better. That's it. I mean, come on, man. That guy's heading is on, and it's impeccable,
Yeah,
dude.
and I think if Van Dijk was in defense when Calvert-Lewin scored that, I think Van Dijk could have stopped that header going in.
Well, in
Maybe.
hindsight, Van Dijk could have probably done everything right that Gomez and Matip haven't, but that's probably a fair shout.
Yeah,
No, but
Yeah.
Liverpool did think that they'd won the game. So this was like another one of my shouts, which I thought I had made it, but it's just unlucky. Do you think that was an offside? Without going into the technicalities, at this moment, do you think
No,
that goal was an offside?
definitely not.
no, when I saw the goal, it wasn't offside from any angle, and VAR just overturned the decision. I think
I mean,
the fourth assistant made a very bad decision there.
so there's been like some story going out that say last week when Liverpool played Villa, the fourth official was the match official then, and Robertson was screaming at him. Now I don't know how much credibility is there in the story, but people are trying to imply that there's been a different narrative. I don't know how true that is, but just salty Liverpool fans otherwise.
That it was a. I think Liverpool definitely deserved to win that game, and Henderson's goal shouldn't have been overturned. They were putting in chances every 5 minutes, shooting at the goal, Pickford saving it. In the end, they got it, but VAR in the end just overturned it.
I mean, the
It,
fact that a United fan is saying that, I think it's universally
Yeah.
accepted at this point. Everyone knows they were robbed. But then we cannot let that completely overshadow how good Everton have been this season so far. I mean, come on, dude.
they're still
Everton have
unbeaten now,
been. Yeah,
They
they
are
are unbeaten.
they are unbeaten.
so
They're
that's what
playing
5
amazing
games.
football.
So
Ancelotti
wait,
has made the perfect
let me ask you
signing.
guys this: for
Yeah.
all the good things you're speaking about Everton, do you think they're real title contenders?
I think Everton are real title contenders.
Dude,
I think they could
honestly,
make
yeah,
top
go on.
four this season because that squad is really good. They've got centre back backups, they've got wing backups, striker. Who's the backup striker?
Cenk Tosun, if I'm not wrong.
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
where that
Cenk
man
Tosun.
is.
Yeah, but they have a pretty good squad, and if they stay injury free, I think they can reach top four by the
So
end of the
you're saying
season.
come March, April, Everton are going to be in and around the top half of the table, like the top four.
I think they should be in the top four.
Right. Tejas, what do you think?
I mean, come on, dude. First of all, see, in the Premier League, any team at least within the top six is a title contender. At least for this season, I'm talking about. It's not like last season's Liverpool. Not like last season's Liverpool's complete dominance. This
Fair
season is
point.
definitely more evenly balanced out, and it's more fun for us. But yeah, definitely Everton are top contenders if they keep this streak going on.
Right.
But
What do
I
you
think,
think, Ishan?
but I think for Everton's success, the key of their success is that midfield of theirs. They have to maintain that midfield properly.
Um, what I think is that I feel like they're genuine top four contenders. I'm not so sure that they're title challengers yet. So my main worry with them is that at the moment you think that they have a pretty good defense, which they do. I'm not saying that they have a bad defense, but it's seldom that they keep like clean sheets. So whichever game it is, it's the attackers outscoring the opposition. So I feel like there'll be games when if the attackers can't deliver, they're gonna draw a few games, they might lose a few games, and that might derail their momentum. So I think they'll definitely make top four, but I'm not gonna put them as title challenges. Right, we've stayed enough in the Merseyside. So moving on, the big blockbuster was City versus Arsenal, which quote unquote was the most boring game of the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
It
Arsenal
ended.
didn't just. You speak, you speak.
It ended, say what, 1-0, but Arsenal did have chances in that game. It's not like they were completely outplayed.
I mean,
Yeah, they
plus,
weren't,
yeah, and
but
plus one to all this thing. Yeah, go on.
they should have taken the chances in the first half. They had three chances, easy goals, but Edison was just saving all the shots in.
I
I
think
mean,
the
yeah,
other flop that no one is talking about, I think Tejas is pretty keen to talk about this, is Nicolas Pepe.
yes. How many seasons now? What, 2 seasons at Arsenal? No,
I think this is the second season running, yeah.
second
Yeah.
season. Yeah, and how much did they pay for him?
72 million.
72.
72 million, and that kid Saka is outperforming him. I think that's a shame, really. That's a shame. I don't know. Is it his? I don't know whether he's not happy over there, or I don't know. I mean, he's had enough time to settle into the team and see how Arteta plays. So I don't find any excuses for his performances at all.
I mean, there's definitely glimpses. Like when you watch Arsenal, there's like a few games where when you see him turn up, score free kicks. I remember seeing this one Europa League game where I think the man turned up with 2 free kicks and they won 3-2 in like the 90th minute. That was last year. But then again, I think the hardest thing in the sport is consistency. And this man needs to be reported. Man, he's been missing missing in action against the big teams for best part of a year now.
Do you think it's another Mesut Ozil situation where he doesn't turn up for the big games?
Well, the
Mesut
thing is,
Ozil
it's
doesn't turn up for any game.
I mean, but there
at the
was a
moment
point
he's
where it was just the big games he would not play at all. Like it was just pathetic watching Ozil play.
man. When you say all of this, it's very hard for us to like recollect Ozil playing because it's been ages since he has stepped on.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair point.
No, I think the way Arteta sets his team up with like three at the back and then they need like two industrious midfielders, there's really no space for Ozil to play because Ozil is a luxury player, in the very simplest of terms. So he's not going to track back. He's like, say, a Turkish Pogba. I mean, he's German, but okay.
Yeah.
Ishan, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Arteta was a assistant manager to Guardiola at City, right?
Yes.
So, do you see any glimpses of like Guardiola's tactics or like team plays when you see Arsenal play? Do you see any glimpses of it, or is it a completely different ball game?
So I think when Arteta came to Arsenal, he wanted to directly implement whatever he learned under Guardiola and whatever I still think is his preferred way to play football, which is four at the back, press high, build out from the back, etc., so on and so forth. The Pep cliche. But I think when he reached Arsenal, he realized he didn't have the players to implement that sort of system, mainly because they were leaking goals left, right, and center. So he played three at the back and he utilized the forwards which he had at the club, which were like essentially pacey forwards to hit bigger teams on the break. And he's been very successful. Like the hardest thing for a manager is to win a trophy, and this man did it with half a season. So I think that helped the confidence in and around the camp. But I feel like as soon as he starts buying players he wants, the game plan will be similar to what Pep Guardiola has going on. But at the moment, he's playing a more pragmatist style of football. So I'd say no.
But then there is another important thing regarding statistics with Arsenal is that they have not. What is it against away side against the big six? They have not won a single away game.
Since
God knows how
2015,
long.
I think.
Yeah,
In
that is
5 years.
that is
How
Yeah,
old were we
it's been a
5 years
very long
ago?
time.
that's
We were what, 13, 14? That's a
Yeah.
long time ago.
yeah, exactly. So That is a cause for concern. What do you think is the reason for that? Like, why is it like that?
Um,
Uh,
Dave, you want to take that one?
Arsenal are a very inconsistent team. Like looking at last season itself, you see them beating City and then losing to I think Villa the next week.
Yeah, Villa.
Yeah, so Arsenal need to become consistent. I think they're trying to put it up the season under Arteta, but I don't know about the away game thing. I don't know what is causing them to lose
I
so
think
many away games.
large chunks of that era was under Arsene Wenger. So I think if you keep that in mind, and the way Man's reign ended, towards the end, I do not think anybody was expecting them to win because of how shaky the situation was. But I feel like the bad times are about to end, so to speak, for Arsenal.
Yeah.
You see like some promising signs.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
they're
boys,
showing.
the other thing was City's new defensive acquisitions. Both of them started, which was Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake. What do you make of their performance?
They played. I mean, there was nothing for them to show against the Arsenal game because Arsenal didn't try that much. But I think Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake could be a solid partnership.
Yeah, but then there's also the how many defensive acquisitions, Ishan?
Uh, the quality is lacking, but the quantity is in abundance. There's about 8 or 9 under Pep's time at City.
I don't know what is it with City and having bad luck with defenders. Like, what is that? I think the first season that you guys got Otamendi, he was pretty good. I would like to assume he was really good that first season you played him.
So thing with Otamendi was in mint condition the 17-18 season. The record breaking season. So there was 100-point season, Centurions. No one's ever going to, in my opinion, topple that record. But Otamendi is 33 years old as it stands, and that is too old. He's lost the legs. As per the other defensive acquisitions, some of them have just been unlucky. So Benjamin Mendy has this man is he's a Twitter account holder. That's all his job profile should say, man. He never turns up on the grass.
What about the big man John Stones?
John Stones is a more tricky buy because 48 million pounds from Everton, 2016. I mean, the fee was high, but for a promising English defender, I mean, that would have been justified. But he's just been bad and unlucky, and because unlucky with injuries, and because he's been injured, he couldn't really like practice or play a run of games and improve his form. So I really don't know, man. But some of them have worked too. So if you think about Kyle Walker,
Yeah,
Aymeric
that's it.
Laporte, so I think it's a hit and miss kind of situation, but there's definitely a few big misses in there.
I don't know. It's just like, I think when you come to the Premier League, it's just that the standards of physicality are so high, and
True.
and a lot of these people are
Yeah.
just like what Lego pieces, man. One small tackle and they get injured.
What do
That's
you
like
Like,
think
Eric
about
Garcia.
Cancelo
yeah.
playing at left back over Mendy?
Uh, so it worked against Real Madrid in last season's Champions League, and then because Mendy was suspended, and then Pep played him against Lyon, and that not Ndombele, who's that Dembele man turned up, scored two, bad luck, bad night. But I feel like Cancelo
Sterling,
isn't a defender,
yeah.
so I feel
And
don't mind.
Sterling. I was really
Don't-
hoping. I was really hoping he missed that open goal yesterday.
Uh, if you ever want to know how hard it is to score a tap in, that's the man you need to DM.
True, but +1 to his finishing at least. But
Yeah, weak foot open goal.
speaking of finishing, Mr. Aguero, what was he doing with that referee? We would love to know.
That's a very controversial topic. Bro. I don't. I mean, the FA have announced that there's no action being taken against him.
Yeah,
But
but what was he
I
trying to do? Like, what was
I
that
think the
shoulder
hardest
pass?
I think the hardest part in the situation is to pronounce the referee's name. I don't know what that name is.
Her name. Anyway, hope
Oh,
she's Hope she's all right.
Dude,
The
I
thing
don't
is,
know,
I
man.
couldn't see Aubameyang anywhere in that Arsenal City game. He was lacking everything. Saka was probably the best Arsenal player on the pitch over there.
I don't know. I think that Arsenal team is kind of a bit too dependent on Aubameyang. I don't
No,
because
but
like
Aubameyang.
it's just like if he doesn't turn up, the team just doesn't. I don't know. They don't gel well together. It's when he does things, when he starts the chances, creates the play, makes the run, scores a goal. You just suddenly that team feels so lively and they're so fun to watch. I think that FA Cup final against Chelsea, where that man was pretty much unstoppable. Like the type of Arsenal you saw during that match and the Arsenal you saw this match, they're completely different. So yeah.
that is pretty too. So let me ask you guys this: when Aubameyang doesn't turn up, do you think Arsenal are? So do you think that let me put it this way: do you think one of the only hot guns Arsenal have is Aubameyang, and if he doesn't turn up, then the whole team goes to shit?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah,
mean, Lacazette, Pepe haven't reached up to the expectations.
Saka is climbing his way up there, but still going to
Yeah,
take time.
Saka has
But
been playing pretty well. I mean, I haven't seen Bellerin do anything for the past 2, 3 years.
Wait,
The
just while we're on
defense,
the topic of strikers, let me also ask you guys this. Now we've spoken about Aubameyang and Aguero for the wrong reasons, but still two excellent strikers. Who do you think's winning the Golden Boot this season?
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
I don't know, but the way Harry Kane's been assisting,
He's
might
had
take
12 goal involvements in 5 games. I mean, it's a new record.
I
I don't
mean
think he's going
that
to
that Kane and Son
lose the Golden Boot
combination is
race.
that Kane and
They're
Son
That's
playing
combination.
like prime Messi and Neymar.
enough. That's a bit
Okay, yeah.
excessive.
Speaking of Spurs, what a bottle job. Yeah, 3-0. You lead and then you scuff it so badly.
Oh,
I think Spurs and Chelsea this weekend proved that
Oh yeah.
this is
they just proved
this is why
Mourinho
this is
right.
the best league. This is why this is the best
Yeah.
league on the planet.
They
Um,
proved
3-3
Mourinho
both
right,
games.
saying when Mourinho
um,
said, if you're winning 2-0 up in a Premier League game, at 85 minutes also you haven't won the game.
Oh, the documentary. Oh boy, was he right? No, but
Dude,
let's speak about one game at a time. So the Spurs game, they were leading 3-0, 3-0 on the night. That first half performance made them look like title challengers. Minute 82, the score is 3-0. Minute 93, score is 3-3. My only question is how?
Tavans and Sanchez should have done better there, putting in an own goal in the last minutes of the game. You
and also, but then you
don't want to
can't
see a defender doing
that
that.
that Villa West Ham's last goal. My God, what a cracker!
Lanzini scored a
Oh, that was
penta.
just some once in a lifetime shit. That was.
That was
Yeah.
ridiculous. But then
No,
this
I
is
mean,
a common trend with Spurs. They do so well, they attack so well, they keep a lead for quite some time, and then suddenly the defense just switches off completely, and they let in such
that
silly goals.
that's a very fair evaluation, to be honest.
I mean, I've seen the All or Nothing documentary, and it's a common trend throughout that whole documentary. The defense is lacking. That's it.
No, I remember we
Yeah.
watching together, and I was like, Spurs always win their games 3-2 because I saw it like so many times in the documentary. And then I just switched the channels, and boom,
It's 3-3.
David Moyes was jumping in the ground.
I mean, it was well deserved. It was they showed some resilience last time. Fair play to them.
To
Yeah,
be
but
fair to them, they lost opening day of the season to Newcastle 2-0, and since then they've bounced back. They scored 4 past Wolves. They defeated Leicester 3-0 that too, and then today.
yeah.
Uh,
Speaking of speaking of shite defenses, let's move on to Chelsea's defense at the moment. Yeah, I mean, like what is going on there? Like what's happening
I
at that
mean,
training
Kurt
ground?
Zuma plays well sometimes, but then he passes to Kepa. I mean, Kepa being Kepa.
I don't
I
know.
don't
I
know.
think as our dear friend Angry Radman put it, they should just terminate his contract and kick him out immediately out of that club. I
I,
mean, appalling
Kepa,
watching him play. It's oh my god, dude.
he came on what, a 7-year contract, right? Under in
Yeah,
2017.
for 80 million.
84 million quid. That was. I mean, there's a
Uh,
few obvious errors that Kepa makes, but I feel like every time I watch him play, he just feels like he's what, 6 feet. And I'm not saying that that's short for a goalkeeper, but if you look at the other keepers, they just look a little bit, say, bigger. So when you're supposed to come collect the ball or clean up when the corners come flying in, this man just gets bodied and overshadowed. Like you can see his
yeah,
hands popping out of like a big huddle, but you can't really see where Kepa is.
yeah. I think in the Premier League you need a big keeper. You cannot have someone like Kepa in goal. Even though you think Kepa is a, even though Kepa has that body structure, but he's just so shit. He should
Well,
have. I don't
Go
know
on,
how has
finish.
he not stopped those goals in.
I
so
mean,
Chelsea last season, if you look at the statistics, in around 42 games, they conceded 63 goals,
yeah,
something like that.
that is
Now, that's
alarming
a
at best.
shit ton of
That is
goals.
That's a lot of goals.
Like, if you told me a striker scored that, I'd be like, this is classic 11 quality.
I don't
No,
know
but
why even Thiago Silva, their supposed guy to fix the defense, had a pretty bad debut, and after that, I don't know. I've just seen less and
After
less
that,
of him.
he's just disappeared from the team.
they gave
Frank
him,
Lampard's decisions, I question them.
well, as long as he plays Mason Mount, everything's fine, dude.
And don't Captain America. That guy is this. I'm telling you, their attack was on point. Yes, Chelsea's attack was on point.
Definitely, definitely. Timo
Yeah,
Werner turned up for the one game.
Timo Werner
Centre
played
halves and all.
really well.
I mean, you remember the first game he played, and he was like against Brighton opening day of the season, and he went like, "I've never played against such big defenders in my life. I don't know what to do." And he did pretty well yesterday, actually, with 2 goals, 1 assist.
Yeah, he played really
Havertz.
well, especially that fake for his first goal. That
Yeah.
was
Oh,
just
that was
really good.
sublime. That was madness, dude. That the ball met the defender.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the kind of striker they need, man. Chelsea,
yeah,
a ruthless
but
striker. But then the
I don't
defense,
know how Frank Lampard still puts faith in Kepa, and why doesn't he play? Uh, what's his name?
Mendy.
Caballero.
Caballero
Oh,
instead of
he's
Kepa when Mendy's
Edouard
injured.
Mendy is injured. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He's
injured for
injured for
two
2 weeks,
weeks.
I think.
He's
Yes.
hopefully still injured for the Man United game, and Kepa starts.
No,
Dude,
but boys, let me ask you this now. So
Hmm.
all of these defensive frailties now, 60 odd goals in 40 games is a bit excessive. That is an understatement in itself. But do you think they should have targeted a better center back this summer? So I know they got in Thiago Silva there to spend a lot. Just went and spent some 800 mil on Kai Havertz and yada yada. But do you think they should have signed a promising defender
Without a doubt,
to
yes.
add?
Yeah, they should have signed a promising defender
I don't
because
know. I don't know why Lampard thought Thiago Silva was a good option in my mind. Like,
I mean
why?
he is a good option. He reached a
Enough for
Champions
the.
League final last season.
I mean,
He's a strong
not with the
leader.
strong leader. Yeah, but
No,
I
I
don't
get
know,
that
man.
he's a very good option, but the only thing is he's not a long-term option. So he
Yeah,
comes in when he's
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
26 years
true.
old. So
When you've got
they were
when
only
you've got
planning for a year
Rudiger,
down the line. Or
yeah, and
Rudiger.
Rudiger, Zuma, Christensen. I mean, I only find Zuma as a good defender, a decent defender for the Prem in that lineup.
And that
Christensen's
is
just
very true.
weak.
No, but dude, it tells you a lot about Chelsea if you think about it. Because Kurt Zuma was sent out on loan to Everton 3 seasons ago, and he was technically outcasted. He was
Yeah.
technically outcast because there was no way of him making it back to the team. But then the transfer ban happened and they had to keep their players because they couldn't sign anyone. So
Hmm.
their go-to option, their best center back at the moment, is someone whom they outcast 3 seasons ago.
He's
I
proven his
mean,
point that He has to stay at Chelsea, and he's playing very well.
I mean, the other defensive player who's been doing decent is Mr. Ben Chilwell. He
Definitely.
Chilwell
hasn't.
has been playing well offensively, defensively.
That
He's
guy
just
looks
been
mint.
a good player. Yeah.
Right,
Let's
boys.
hope
So
he does.
there was
Then what?
one big game. I would even go as far as to call it a major upset, which was Newcastle United
Oh.
losing at
Wow.
home 4-1 to a broken Manchester United, if I could say.
I mean, when the first goal went in, I was like, yeah, nothing new here. It's just Man United being Man United. But we picked up. Bruno played amazing. He's been the most consistent player in our squad, and I think he deserves captaincy over Maguire.
Mr. Harry Maguire. That's good turnaround for him from that last
Yeah, good turnaround for
pathetic
him.
game.
But
From pulling Luke Shaw to putting the proper header in. That's
yeah,
good
I
for
mean,
him.
he played pretty well against Newcastle. He had about 90% of the aerials he won. He had 3 shots on goal, scoring one.
Yeah,
He
but
He
led
put
them.
then
in those tackles.
how well do you think he's gonna cope up with Timo Werner? That's that's a
Yeah, that's the
question.
problem. Timo Werner here, his pace is mad, and Maguire's mobility is just so shit.
The thing about
Uh,
Maguire is every time, say, your fan base. So after the last humiliation was 6-1, it was at your patch, their patch. I think it was Old Trafford. Uh,
Yeah.
6-1, and generally when you lose a game as a player, you want to get back in there after 3 days, the next opportunity, so that you could turn things around. This was a long fucking wait because this was 14 days because of the international break.
Hmm.
So there's 14 days of constant chatter, this pundits throwing shit around, this fan channels going mad, people going as far as to say this man should be sold off in January. There's memes all around. But here's my take on it. I feel like if somebody was valued at 80 million, if someone was a part of a defense, or more so the captain of a defense, which had third best defensive record last year. So Liverpool led in 33, City led in 35, United led in 36. So for everything to go to shit so quickly, it seemed a bit excessive to me. What did you make of all the slating?
this is how the internet works,
Maguire,
man.
as he didn't play really bad last season, as people say, in my opinion. But of lately, what he's been putting out, I thought he needed a rest for this Newcastle game. But only put him in the lineup, and Maguire showed what he can do on his best day. But
Ole does
still,
trust
another
Maguire.
inconsistent player in the Man United lineup. I don't know what can fix this team, but
I mean,
it's
when are you guys going to play Alex Telles? Like, just seeing him on the bench is just
Midweek,
painful.
probably.
yeah, I think he should start against PSG tomorrow.
Oh, wait, it's tomorrow? Oh, these games
Yeah,
are coming thick and fast.
yeah.
But the
I mean,
other important thing I saw in that game was the tactical shape changed. So instead of playing the same, that Bruno, Pogba with Matic holding, I really liked what Ole tried to do for this particular game. He had a plan and he was bold enough to pick the players for it. And he started a player who couldn't even make the bench 14 days ago, Dan James.
yeah, Dan James. I mean,
And
Dan James, he didn't even play half bad, He played all right, and
Decent,
I think he just
decent.
needs to work better on his finishing, his passing in the final third.
yeah, those are all fair points. But the one, say, the headline maker, if you would have lost that game after going behind early, was Paul Pogba did not start. Now, and you played considerably better, even though you somehow scored 4 in the last 10. You could always see that United were the aggressors in the game. Now, do you think without Pogba, you have more hardworking, ball winning midfielders and you can play better?
Yeah, I think so. I think Paul has to leave the club, stating in the media that he likes Real Madrid and wants to go there. I really think he has to leave. He's done his task here. I mean, he hasn't done it well, but I think he just has to leave the club and we need to move on from him. I think
But
Van de
I, thi-
Beek has to start
it
over
might be a
Pogba.
case of Bruno playing Pogba's favorite position. That is also there because Bruno's position is exactly what Pogba was doing back at Juventus. That's literally the same role he had over there, and now Bruno's occupying it. And I don't know.
Pogba
To
had
me,
his chance to prove it before Bruno came, and he didn't
That's a
prove
fair
it
I
well
point.
mean,
enough.
that was marked. That was all injuries and all. I mean,
Yeah,
it,
but you still, even you have to play properly. You're coming in for 100 million and you're giving yourself, what, 4 years to prove yourself? It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, there is elegance in his play, but yeah, I can see that the
Yeah, I
drive is
think
not
Van de
there.
Beek has to replace him. And Van de Beek has to start against PSG. Haven't seen him start yet. And when he came on yesterday, you could just see his movement, his passing.
No,
I
Van de
mean,
Beek's a
two of those
creative
goals were because
midfielder,
of
man.
Van de Beek.
He's a creative midfielder, man. He moves all over the pitch.
No, but no. Let me ask you this then: if he hasn't started, I think he started one game. That was also in the Carabao Cup, I feel. So,
Yeah.
do you think this player was higher up on Ole's target list? Because if he was, do you think he would have started more games by now?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was on top of Ole's target list
I mean,
because
the top
Ole
of
should have
Ole's
started
target
him.
list was Jadon Sancho, but that
Mm.
that flopped so hard.
And Ole had four top targets, and none of them were signed because of our board. The board really has to back the manager. It's just how Lampard was backed, but Ole hasn't been.
Fair point. Okay, wait. One of the players, while we're on the topic of transfers, who is training with the squad and is in contention to start against Paris tomorrow is Edson Cavani. Do you think he's going to start against his former side, that too?
I'm not sure if he's going to start, but I think he should because Rashford played, yes, like 2 days back. And Greenwood also wasn't in the lineup, so Greenwood is also in contention for PSG. Cavani too. So I think he's going to play Rashford on the left wing, Greenwood on the right, and Cavani on strike maybe against PSG.
I think Cavani would be a really good striker if Pogba and Bruno played together because both of them would just feed him balls constantly. Because Cavani is not the kind of striker who goes. He's not a Timo Werner. He's a striker that depends on players around him to feed him the ball so he can just pounce on it. So Rashford is good at distributing. I mean, do you think Rashford's good at distributing the ball?
Rashford runs down the wing with the ball most of the time and tries to shoot from there.
Yeah, I don't see how that logic can work with Cavani, but
I'm
you
I'm
never know.
really I want to see what Team Ole puts out tomorrow. It's gonna be a really good match.
It is most definitely. Um, right. I think we've covered all the big games this week. The one game that we haven't covered, and I just like to speak about it briefly before we wrap the show up, is Aston Villa going 4 games unbeaten, 4 victories that too, 12 points from 4 games, defeating Leicester City with an extra time strike. What have you guys made of their season?
They have played very well. Defeating Liverpool 7-2 with Van Dijk in defense is not an easy job in any way. Ollie
I
Watkins scoring a hat trick. It's it's
I
magic.
woke up I woke up the next morning, so I think I slept at around 11, and that's when the game started. I woke up and I just typed Liverpool in my Chrome app because I wanted to check what the score was, and it said 2-7. So I thought they put 7 past Villa. And after half an hour of me waking up, I had my breakfast, and then I see on my phone that they were whooped 7-2. I was like, bro,
That was
that
mad.
that game week was crazy. United was spanked. Liverpool was spanked. Just
that is very true.
I mean, thank God Liverpool
You-
have conceded seven there because United were.
United and Liverpool finally find solace for once together, both in defeat.
One player I actually want to say big up from the Aston Villa side is say one of the lesser known names, but it's Emi Martinez. What a signing!
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
What
kept,
a fucking
he's
signing!
played amazing. Villa have kept 3 clean sheets.
So,
That man might rack up the most FPL points for a keeper this season. My hot
Yeah.
take.
and it's time for me to replace Loris. Then, hey, let's go.
Right. Wait, if any of you guys watching right now play FPL, and if you'd like us to do podcasts on FPL, then just leave that in the comments, and we'll do that too happily. So, boys, have we covered everything today?
I think we have. And I
So,
think
yeah.
the Premier League this year is going to be mad. No more of that 1-0s every game week. It's mad competitive, and no
That
team's going to
is
finish with
very
90
true.
points this season.
You might have jinxed that, but we'll see. But definitely, it's going to be a good battle. And at the moment, so let me just do this before I wrap up. Give me your Prem title winner prediction at this moment, and then I'll ask you one as we approach, say, the winter games. Give me at this moment, who do you think is going to win the title?
At this moment.
Yes, it'll start with you, Tejas.
You know what? I'm gonna be ballsy. I'm gonna say Everton. I don't know. It may not pan out, but I will say Everton just from the way they are playing.
Oh,
I
big
will say
shout.
Everton because I don't think Aston Villa have the the grit to keep this consistency for a long time. I really don't think they can. I mean,
Fair shout.
I'm not taking shots at them. They're playing sick right now, but if I'm being honest, I don't see them lasting this out.
Fair
The
point.
reason I'm not
Man
naming the big
City.
six. Yeah, okay, sorry. The reason I'm not naming the big six is because all of them have been wildly inconsistent so far. United, City,
Right, fair observation.
City's
City
faring
lost
slightly better.
5-2 to Leicester.
Yeah, but as Liverpool, I don't know. Liverpool, they're a bit shaky at the moment.
I mean,
Right.
I would have backed Liverpool to win this, but since Van Dijk's
Chelsea,
injured, I think it's going to be
Chelsea, as long
City.
as Kepa is in goal, they're not going to go anywhere in life.
Dave, what's
I
your
think
shout?
if Liverpool still had Van Dijk, I would be backing Liverpool to win this, but I
Yeah,
think it's
exactly.
City at this point.
And
City.
I'm going to vote City too. So that's 2 votes for City and Tejas with the ballsy Everton. Guys, it's been a pleasure having you here, and we'll get back to those predictions in the winter months. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to get involved in the comments so that keeps us motivated, and ask any questions, and we'll be happy to reply to them. Keep
Yeah,
supporting the channel, like, comment, share the video with your friends. And we're going to be keeping this up weekly, so you'll always have fresh content. Make sure to follow us on Instagram too. You'll find our channel in the you'll find our account in the bio. And yep, that's it. Stay safe and enjoy. Thank you.
stay safe, y'all.
Stay safe.
Been on holiday, pay for the team with my DNA. I've been on getting the 92, whether they're making or wanna pew. I've been on coming through with a 2-2, and I'm fucking up with